What? Can somebody tell me? I mean, unless I, you know what?
What's good, people, and welcome on today's episode. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing great. And if you are here for the very first time, thank you so much for being here today. Gang culture is what we are going to be talking about today. There is this creator on TikTok who made a video about gang culture and how stupid and dumb gang culture is today. And that video went viral, and there are so many people stitching to his video. This video, I can say that the comment section, the people who are literally typing comments are on the same page, and then the people stitching the video are on another page as well. I am going to roll the clip of the very first video that started this entire conversation. Before we start going into what the people are saying about gang culture, I as well like to hear your take on what gang culture is in the world today, what it means to you when you think of gang culture. What are the few things that comes to your head? Make sure you share that in the comment section. And without wasting much time, let's check out the video that started this entire conversation.
Gang culture is stupid. Being a gang member is dumb. Because the whole point of your gang is to kill your own people, steal from your own people, destroy your own community. It's stupid. And you're doing it all over a street corner that you claim but don't own. You're doing it over colors. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. And then y'all go to jail talking about, oh, free the homie. But no, keep him. Your homie just killed 3 kids for no reason because he wanted stripes in his hood. He wanted respect from his homies. First of all, that's gay. Second of all, that's dumb. And most of y'all be broke. I can understand if you're a gang member who is the CEO of Apple or who's curing cancer, but no, you're a broke gang. It's dumb. It's stupid. What?
That was the video he posted, and I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. When he posted this video, there are so many creators who stick to his video that agreeing to what he said, and there are others pointing out the fact that in the comment section there are some snow people using the opportunity to get some things off of their chest as well. So what do you guys think? I think one of the things that we all can agree to is the fact that the gang culture we know or we hear of back in the days is different from what gang culture is in today's world. So without wasting much time, let's just get right into what the people have to say about if gang culture is stupid, if it is dumb, if it makes no sense. Let's hear these people out.
So there's a dude on here, creator. His name is Long Beach Griffey. He made a video where he was talking about how gang culture is stupid, and I was like, yeah, it's fucking stupid. But the way that I came across that is because it was a stitch. It was somebody who stitched it. And he said, mad respect to this creator, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, but I'm not going to let you sit up here and disrespect gang culture like that. You're not going to, I see you didn't talk about all the good that gang members do. What? Can somebody tell me? I mean, unless I, you know what? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. Can somebody fill me in? And then he did not specify. He did not go into what good the gang members did, which is why I'm asking y'all. And then He then tried to relate gang members to fraternities. They do have some similarities, but he never. So here I am, still baffled as to what good the gang members do. I really don't know. And I don't mean like back in the day. I mean now, right now. Don't try to go back and pull something from a generation that had nothing to do with none of us right now. What I mean right now. Because now I'm sitting up here thinking, what the fuck are they doing? Like population control? Keeping insurance rates high? I'm trying to really figure out what the hell he meant by that. You know what? I blocked him, but I'm gonna go back and unblock him just so I can tag him in the comments.
Gang culture is stupid.
All right, I share some of the same beliefs, but we kind of got to break this down just a little bit. See, majority of the gangs actually started to help their communities. For instance, you got the Crips, Community Rebuilding in Progress. A lot of them were formed in a time where you actually needed somebody in the community to be a representative of the community because it kept a lot of racial hate and tensions out of the area. Now, of course, you had a lot of people get locked up politically for that. So what was left was the bad apples. Now, all of the bad apples are running the streets, producing more bad apples. So now you have a bunch of niggas, essentially, let's be honest, running, ravaging, and fucking up the community because they were taught by bad people, and now they're bad people. You know, they didn't get their start bad. It's just a lot of the good people were no longer there. And it kind of just fucked shit up. And now, you know, you got motherfuckers in the streets running ruthless. They have no moral code. And that's because all of the good people are, you know, no longer there for the foundations and shit. This is just like breaking it down just a little bit. I could really educate and go a lot deeper, but that's gonna take too long for this TikTok shit, for real, for real.
Yeah, I see you didn't talk about all the good that gang members do.
So to preface this, this creator is talking about gang culture. Long Beach Griffey made a video that's circulating saying that gang culture is stupid. And another brother stitched that video to say, don't disrespect gang cultures. Y'all don't talk about the good in gang cultures. And he referred to gang culture as the same as fraternities. Gangs represent all the negative tropes of fraternities, like the color schemes and stuff like that, like how serious they are about color schemes. You're walking around with like blue on or something like that, Crips will check you. If you're walking around with red on, Bloods will check you. Or depending on, especially here in California, depending on what street you're from or something like that, you can't wear certain variations of color. Number two, hazing. To be DP'd, if you know what that is in gangs, that's something that's a negative trope. I don't believe you have to punish somebody like that in any way, shape, or form. In fraternities, they haze a little bit as well. And then on top of that, it seems like gangs are recruiting younger and younger and younger. You have 14-year-olds going to jail for adult crimes now. Like a lot of adult crimes and things like that. We're not just talking about robbing somebody. We're talking about selling. We're talking about deleting somebody, being caught with weapons, things of that nature. And there's little to no networking. You're not putting these children or even adults in these better situations. You're just hoping to protect them from the possibility of being poached by another gang or in another neighborhood. Outside of that, when it comes to real life situations, gangs are not there for you. Okay? And I just think that represents majority of the negative tropes around fraternities. Okay? So that's just how I feel about it, man. Gang culture is absolutely stupid. I think it's unnecessary. What would make it necessary is if they actually help people get out of the hood. Like if there was a central network that was helping people get out of the hood specifically. Right? That's just how I feel about that. Peace.
Gang culture is stupid. Being a gang member is dumb.
I want to add to what the brother is saying and say that the current gang culture does not make any sense and is stupid and is toxic. But how it originated was a group of people wanting to protect their communities because there were, obviously, naturally, there's always going to be some predators and shit like that. But originally, gang culture was supposed to protect their own peoples. But as the power got into their heads throughout generations, it got corrupt. And so we always need a code of honor. And that's why I really respect Asian culture gangs more, because they have more of a sense of honor in that sense. But still, it still got to their heads, and throughout generations, it still got fucked up. But for you and I, you know what I'm saying? We got to embody that gang shit in the sense of that tightness, in the sense of loyalty, in the sense of being willing and able to kill people who are very unjust and that would harm our families. But, be of a code of honor. Have it as the foundation of your own being. Not promoting Gang culture, in the sense of how it is currently, I'm promoting honor and being loyal to each other and being able to protect each other. That's what I'm talking about.
You're doing it over colors. Make it make sense.
Okay, hear me out. Gang culture actually makes a lot of sense. It's highly irrational, but it makes a lot of sense on a few different levels. When you take a step back and you realize that most gangs have come about as a result of economic inequalities, racial segregation, adversity, all of these things work together to create a sense of alienation, to disenfranchise. So now you have a group of people with no identity, or the identity that they do have is quote unquote not up to par and constantly attacked. So obviously, the most reasonable thing is they would be pushed into having a community, longing, desire, the desire to belong to something. Not only that, but the desire to be protected, which I think is what happens. A lot of people feel the urge to be protected. When you take a step back and you look at the signs of codependency, it's really easy to see how prevalent codependency is within gang culture. The first being low self-esteem. Within gangs, members might derive their self-esteem from the gang's reputation and seek out that approval. The inability to set boundaries, the ability to say no. So you might see gang members finding it nearly impossible to set boundaries with the gang, participating in activities that they might personally disagree with out of fear or retaliation or ostracization. The obsessive need for approval. Self-denial. Anyone who's experienced codependency knows how easy it is to put the needs of others above your own, almost to the point of neglect. Putting the gang ethos over your personal health, over your own personal dreams. Codependency often leads to difficulties in expressing thoughts, feelings, and needs in a gang. It discourages open vulnerability, and expression of doubt about the gang's activities could lead to you being killed or dismissed. All of that pours into a fear of abandonment, the same way that someone might be afraid of being left behind in a relationship. Imagine building relationships with these people, and the consequences of leaving that gang are retaliation or death. Now let's add in the fact that most often the people who are victims of gangs, because I do consider like a lot of these people victims, they came from fatherless homes. And so now you have all of the men in your community in one group. And as a man being raised by a single woman, you're going to be craving to be around masculine energy. As a child, you don't have the ability to discern if this is healthy masculine energy or if it's wounded masculine energy. So now you're in an environment with a whole bunch of other people who also have a desire to craving to be a part of something around other people or learning from other people with wounded masculinity. And that wounded masculinity manifests itself as hyper masculinity. So, you have situations where people aren't even picking up pink lighters because it's gay, which is really, really, really sad, because if the Black male community could get over homophobia, do you know how many little Black boys would dominate in the Olympics or in gymnastics? It's just, that's a whole nother video entirely, but it actually makes a lot of sense why people would be attracted to gangs. Unfortunately, you're being attracted to, it's almost like Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. Everyone in these groups has had no representation of what good, strong, healthy masculinity looks like, and it manifests itself in what we see in gang culture. So while gangs defy logic and there is no rationality about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. My dad was born in 1973, and we were talking the other day, and he said, most of my generation is gone. They're either dead or in jail. And so you have an entire generation of men who grew up without other healthy men to model. You break a people down, you teach them to hate themselves, you strip their identity, and then you take away the leadership in their environment. And you have Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. You have low emotional regulation, hypermasculinity, and a desire to be around masculine energy, probably after being raised by, probably wounded femininity, because Black moms can be rough, they can be mean. But we know why that is. You take their tools away and their ability to communicate, and then you give them guns, and then you give them drugs. And all of a sudden, these disenfranchised people now have an identity and a misguided sense of self-worth. And it makes a lot of sense. What makes it absolutely tragic is you have entire groups of able-bodied men who if they were able to, siphon off all of that energy into something positive, you could have entire groups repairing neighborhoods, learning trades, uplifting their community instead of destroying it. But it's really, really easy to break things, and it's really, really hard to build things. Really hard to create things and put things back together. And gang members are human, and humans have a tendency to take the path of least resistance.
What do you guys think about what they all said? And what do you think in general about gang culture? We have seen so many results of gang culture online and how these young ones are dying or deleting people just because they feel like they are in the gang culture or they're a member and stuff. I feel like the outcome of the gang culture that we have seen online so many times is not really a good one. You have young ones deleting each other, fighting, ganging up to delete another. It's just a very crazy one. The last lady to stick to the video said it makes sense, but it's highly irrational, and then went ahead to break down her point. But I would like to hear what you guys think about what she said actually, because I feel like our own side is a little bit different from what the other stitches are saying. So I would like to hear what you guys think about that in the comment section. I came across few comments of people saying, "Oh, some people think being anti-gang is being anti-black," but that is not what they are saying. Like, it's just something that is no longer serving the community, and there is no need to being a gang member. Being in that gang is stupid and dumb. Like this comment said, gang culture is stupid, but the whole world worship Italian mob movies, Asian mob movies, Russian mob movies. You can tell this is somebody who actually is in support of gang culture, and to them it's not stupid, it makes a lot of sense. Another person said the guy who started this conversation, he said he went about it in a bad way, but trying to get here thinking that most gang members nowadays are doing anything positive is being intentionally ignorant. Because it's the truth. There've never been something good being reported about gang culture. It's always good back in the days because these people seems to have a community and seems to have like a figure. But now the fact that young people are being recruited into that gang is not making a lot of sense, and it's causing more harm than good. In fact, a lot of people believe it's not even giving any good, it's causing a lot of harm to the community. Because the OGs who have been a gang member would definitely leave the kids out of it, but now we have the young ones trying to be forming gang members doing gang shit. A lot of people as well touched down on how gang member has promoted a whole lot of division in the black community, and that now in this today, it doesn't make any sense to be in any gang because the gang culture itself now does not make any sense. I feel like those people who are disagreeing to what he said are just coming from a point of why it was created. And I feel like this man's point is far beyond why the gang culture was created. It's about what it represents in the society, in the community today. It's no longer serving. It's in a lot of bad and good. So there's no reason to be in a gang culture. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think about gang culture? What do you think when you hear gang culture? What comes to your head? Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Thank you all so much for joining. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe before you go and turn your bell notification on. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. And I love you guys.